Hello everyone. So it's been a while since I've done a review or podcast or anything like that. As we all know, 2020 came out yesterday, so I'm going to do a little review on my thoughts on the whole album. I'm going to try and be obviously as fair and but I don't even know the word as fair and as honest as I can be um, with regards to 2020. I'm not going to give me final review till the end, of what I rate it out of 10 because if I give it whatever, whether it's low or high, people are just going to switch off once I give that because someone won't agree with what I'm saying. So, obviously, I've got the CD here, so just to make sure I know the track list back to back. I'm not at that stage just yet. So, obviously, a couple of months back, I don't know how long ago it was now, about 6 months ago when we first heard. Actually, it was a bit longer, wasn't it? About 8 months ago when we got to hear Limitless, and I've done a review video there, and obviously it was kind of, I think it was about the first day after we aired in, we got the lyrics and everything like that, and I've done a full review of just what I thought, and it did go on a bit long. Um, so I'm going to try and keep the whole album a lot shorter. So yeah, and let's see how it goes. So obviously number one is Limitless. As I said, I've done a full video on this already, so a lot of people know my thoughts on this song anyway. I don't think I just don't think it should have been a single for one. I certainly don't think it should open the album. It still does nothing for me. Do I dislike it as much as I did when it first came out? Probably not, but that doesn't mean that I like it anymore either. I just think it's just very weak. Obviously, the bridge is the worst part in any Bon Jovi song. Probably for me, I can't listen to that part without cringing. The verses, as I've always said, aren't too bad. There's a bit of, you know, John's vocals aren't too bad on it. The lyrics aren't great by any means, but yeah, it's still I just can't really take to it, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to go too much on Limitless because obviously, as I said, if you want to know my true thoughts on it, go back a couple of videos from on my channel and you'll see the full review there. Number two, so obviously the album was meant to be out in May, got postponed with everything that's going on in the world and that, and during that time, obviously John wanted to write a couple of songs, so Do What You Can was one of them songs, and if you all remember, it was kind of on an acoustic guitar when we first got to hear it, and it sounded alright, and he let other fans do verses and fill it in and stuff like that. And then obviously we got the full song, which I think we all kind of expected to be on the album. It was the way he was selling it and promoting it all the time. I think we all kind of knew that that was going to happen. So Do What You Can. It's again, it's not the worst song in the world. Um, I'm going to speak about the bonus tracks later, so I won't go too much on them just yet. But one of the songs that Do What You Can has potentially replaced just the worlds apart. I just don't think Do What You Can really should have been on the album. I get that it's kind of current now. I get that 2020 has not been the best year for anyone. And maybe in a year's time or so, if we haven't listened to the album for a while, we might look back and think, wow, look at, what we all went through and stuff, which fair enough, but I still don't think it should have been on the album. The version with Jennifer Nettles, I think, is a little bit better. I think it's got a little bit more power to it, obviously because her vocal range is, undeniably better than John's at the moment. So yeah, Do What You Can. I think I'd probably give that song, I don't know, 4 or 5 out of 10 maybe. Um, I got bored of it very, very quickly. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, yeah, it's not bad. I don't like the country roots anyway that the band go down, or Nashville influenced, or whatever you want to call it. That's not my type of music that I'm into. I want Bon Jovi to be a rock band. I always want them to be a rock band. I don't want them trying new stuff. I appreciate that they are, and I won't criticise them for trying new stuff, but I want them to just stick to rock. And I think Do What You Can's very, very country, and unfortunately, I can see it being on every single set list for the short term anyway. So, yeah, 4 or 5 out of 10 for Do What You Can. Again, I don't think it should be, on the first couple of songs. I think the album needs to kick off with decent tracks to get you hooked, and I just don't think the first two do that. But that's just my opinion. So number three, obviously, the next song that John wrote in lockdown about George Floyd and another instant that was going on in the world. That's kind of it as all really. American Reckoning, again, I like that they tried something, or John tried something. The harmonica solo was by far the best part in the song. The lyrics are touching, let's say, but again, it's kind of not something. It's not a song that I've gone back to time and time again to listen to. I think it's about 6 minutes long as well, isn't it? Which I think may be a bit too long for that type of song. Again, 5 out of 10 maybe for American Reckoning. Doesn't really showcase John's voice in the best way. There's not much I can really say about American Reckoning. It's okay. But yeah, so I was really intrigued. For me, everyone else had heard the album. I did get sent here about a day or two before the album got released. I think it was 2 days before the album got released when somebody sent me it. But I'm quite old school, and I have to have the album in my hands, go home and blast it from the CD. That's just something I've done since I was a little boy. Still I'm a little boy really, but it's something I've always done. So I waited, and obviously running a fan page with so many fans who have listened to the leaked version, and then obviously on the Friday for those who did wait who have listened to it, because I didn't get to listen till 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. at night after I finished work. So all day I was just reading reviews and reviews. So for me, as someone mentioned on Twitter, I had kind of had a disadvantage because I was going in with expectations of all these songs because I was reading reviews and probably should have not. But obviously, as a fan page, I want to try and keep on top of stuff with giving you other information and that. And I do want to kind of still want to be in that mix when it is brand new for everyone. So Beautiful Drug, obviously as we all know it, they done a video for it again just before lockdown. I think it was just before lockdown, I presume it was anyway. And we could hear like an interview, we could hear in the background, behind the scenes, Beautiful Drug getting played. And for me, I was really looking forward to it. It sounded a bit different. Sounded like something that we haven't really had before. And then when it kicked in, when I listened to it for the first time, I just knew it was going to be one of them songs I really enjoy. I wanted it to be I wanted it to be the first single. Listening to it yesterday, first thing I said as soon as it finished was that should have been the lead single. I hadn't even listened to the rest, but I just thought that's Bon Jovi. And it reminded me of like the bounce outtakes, really. That's like Alive and Standing, and even like one of the Crush ones, like Ain't No Cure for Love and stuff. I think that was Crush anyway. It reminded me of like that type of era where it just has a bit of grit to it, almost like a funky rock. That's probably the best way I can describe it. John, I think, sounds really good on it myself. The bridge where he barely breathes, doing that whole chatting type thing. I don't even know how to describe it. I thought it was good. Phil X kind of showcases himself a little bit. It's not the best solo in the world, but it's kind of more guitar that we've got than anything for a while. Certainly like a heavy guitar. I kind of wanted it to go on a little bit longer, especially with how Phil X has been bigging it up. I suppose if that was his only song that he got to showcase himself, he is going to big himself up. Beautiful Drug for me, probably an 8 out of 10 to be honest with you. As I said, it should have been the first single. I think if it was the first single, I would have been a lot more excited for this album. We got to hear it live last night for the first time as well at that iHeart Radio show, and it was superb. It was like John singing it on studio. There's a little bit of rasping the chorus. I said that the part where he, 15, 20 seconds where he barely breathes, he nailed that yesterday. The whole band just sounded on form. Tico, I think Love's the Only Rule was the last time you actually hear Tico's drums like that. Yeah, absolutely brilliant song for me. As I said, if that opened the album, it got me straight away, but that's Limitless doesn't. The first three songs don't. Um, Number five, so yeah, 8 out of 10. Sorry for Beautiful Drug. Number five, um, everyone, like I don't know if it went into this with expectations or not. Story of Love. Everyone was going on about it, or a lot of people going on about it on Twitter and the forum and stuff. I don't have kids, like thankfully, touch wood, and my parents are still alive in here, so just that song hasn't connected with me yet, and I'm not saying it's a bad song. It just I couldn't connect with it yet in the same way other people were. I've had a lot of people saying, I've got kids, and it's kind of how I feel, and which is lovely. And I think that was obviously John's aim. There's no other way about it. I think, but I don't have that emotional attachment to it like everyone else does. As I said, I don't dislike the song. I think it's a lovely song. Um, it just, yeah, for me at the moment, it hasn't done anything. Apart from, I do love the outro, which is like a minute and a half long or something, isn't it? So I do like that. But at the moment, yeah, it just hasn't got to me. I'm going to take the lyric book out as well because I was reading the lyrics yesterday of certain songs. But yeah, Story of Love, as I said, maybe if I had kids, and again, maybe in a few years' time, God space, if I have any or something like that, then maybe I might listen to it with a different outlook on life. Um, but yeah, at the moment it didn't do anything for me just yet. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'd probably give that 6 out of 10. I think anything higher, I'd probably be lying to myself. Um, just to be saying that I like it more when I genuinely don't at the moment. Um, so yeah, it's a pain to get the sheet out. So yeah, number 5, sorry, was Story of Love. I said I'd probably give that a 6. Said reading the lyrics and that, I kind of relate in some ways, but not nowhere near to the extent that people are saying on Twitter or friends or anything on the forum. But yeah, so 6 out of 10 for me on that one. Let It Rain, absolutely love the intro, love the intro. I don't know what it reminds me of. It reminds me, I think it was All Hail the King. It reminded me of a little bit, um, but a better intro than that. I've always liked the intro to All Hail the King for some reason, but I think this is better. Again, a bit of grit from John just before the chorus kicks in, and then obviously the tune. And I think again another really really solid song from them. The type of song that you'd expect post 2000. It's not the rockiest song in the world. It's certainly probably a bit more than pop. So yeah, I'd probably give Let It Rain, I don't know, maybe a 7 out of 10. I think that's probably fair. If I give that a 7 out of 10. Um, the part where he says Christ I'm calling right at the end, that kind of got me straight away because again you kind of feel like he's shouting it. Really he wasn't, but he kind of feels like it kind of took an extra step on that. So I'd probably give Let It Rain number 7, a 7 out of 10. Now number 7, Lower the Flag. Again, I don't come from America, but obviously in the news and everything you see about all these shootings all the time and gun control and violence and whatever's going on, and I can only imagine what it's like to live there. And the fact that John's obviously, he said in recent interviews that he was watching the news, heard about the shooting, went to bed, came back down, and when he was watching it, they were going on about another shooting. Um, and he couldn't believe that there was two in the same night. And I think, for someone it's quite brave really to make a song about that. Because as I said, apart from in America really, certainly in the UK, we don't really have that type of thing, thankfully. Um, but it is quite haunting, the lyrics are absolutely spot on. I presume he's got his message across. The part where he names the states or the towns or whatever they are, like that was quite. I don't know whether the word's haunting, but that got me quite straight away, really, because he's speaking over obviously the singing. He's getting that message across there. I just think that's quite a hard song to write and to sing, and I don't know how often obviously that's going to get played live or something like that because it is quite a touchy subject. But the message that obviously he's aiming for, he's definitely got across there. Again, it's probably not something that's got to me like Story of Love, so I'll probably give this another 6 out of 10. Just that I've only listened to it twice, so it is really quite raw at the moment. This review, there's more songs that I've listened to a bit more, but yeah, probably 6 out of 10. Again, I can't really relate to it too much just yet. I think maybe I might have to do another one in a couple of weeks where I know the songs off by heart. I can remember certain parts and songs. At the moment, as I said, it's still quite raw for me. But people want me to do this, so I will do it. Now, number 8, this is the one that ever since John kind of mentioned that there's a Dry County-esque song. Obviously, sometimes he said that in the past about other songs and it don't really match it. But I think this put it this way, I never thought Bon Jovi would do a song like this ever again. I thought those days were behind them, like at the moment, and again, it's raw, and I'm probably going to get criticised, but at the moment, I actually think it's like a masterpiece at the moment. I think it's something that obviously if his 90s voice out there, I'm not going back to his vocals or anything like that. I'm just saying if he wrote this in the 90s, Dry County, you get belting vocals and probably a longer guitar solo, but that's not me criticising at all. I'm just saying that might have elevated the song even more. But I'm looking at it from today's standards, and I never ever thought I'd get a song like this again. Straight away, the intro got me. It just didn't sound like a Bon Jovi song, or certainly anything post 2000. I presume that's Shanks on the guitar, and I've always said it from Burning Bridges anyway. I just think his guitar work is excellent in terms of that type of playing. I don't really expect him to have a Phil X type of rawness about him and crazy solos and everything like that, headbang and stuff. But the silky stuff and the melodies and that, I think Shanks is absolutely spot on with them. But Blood in the Water, yeah, like by head and shoulders above anything at the moment for me on the album. Best song by a mile at the moment. Best song in I couldn't even tell you how many years. I've listened to it 5 or 6 times, which, as I said, I've only listened to the rest 2, 3 times max. But Blood in the Water has just got me straight away. His voice spot on, the lyrics fantastic. Tico's drums unbelievable, the guitar superb. John Shank's production on this is exactly what we've wanted for years and years and years, ever since Have a Nice Day. This is the type of song that we wanted, really. As I said, it's not a rocky song. It's not something that it's just not something I expected them to do ever again. And I would put it in the same league as, at the moment, before anyone jumps on me, I will put it in the same category as a Dry County or anything like that at the moment, 100%. Yeah, it's been a while since a song like that got me on the first listen. I remember Love's the Only Rule, first ever time I heard that, I couldn't believe it. I absolutely loved that, and that was what, 11 years ago now. So as I said, it's been a long, long time, and I actually think this got me more than Love's the Only Rule, and I'll never forget the first time listening to that. So that's definitely, as I said, for me, it's the best song on the album. When John screams, "A Russian hack by trade," I mean, apart from Who Would You Die For, and again, maybe Love's the Only Rule, there hasn't been anything like that for years and years and years. And it's just something, I think it's a song we've all been crying out for, it's a song we've all missed. I think anyone who's going to criticise that song in particular is just moaning for the sake of moaning. And I've always said I do moan a lot, but I'll only moan if I feel I need to. Whereas I think if anyone criticises that song, I get that we all have different tastes, but I just don't understand how a Bon Jovi fan who wants them to go back to how they were could criticise that song. It's the fact that John wrote it all on his own. Yeah, for me at the moment, it's very rare that I give songs out a 10 out of 10, but at the moment it's a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for me, 100%. So maybe in a couple of weeks after I've listened to it 2 or 3 more times, I might get bored of it. I might notice stuff. I don't know. Yeah, but for me, 9 out of 10, either a 9 or a 10 out of 10 at the moment. Yeah, fantastic song, and I hope everyone else agrees with that there. Brothers in Arms. The intro reminds me of Rebel Rebel by David Bowie. Only the first chord or two, but it sounds like it's about to break into that. I wouldn't say they've gone as far as copying it. It just sounds very similar. Again, Brothers in Arms is in the same category as Beautiful Drug for me. Bit more upbeat, rocky. Lyrics are superb. Again, I'm going off this after listening to it 2 or 3 times, but it was one of them where I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that's again the type of the song that I want. I don't want, I'm not going to expect another Hey God or Fear or something like that. I'm expecting these type of rocky songs from Bon Jovi. Again, I wouldn't class it as rocky, as in like Hey God, but I would class it as rock for Bon Jovi standards these days, and that's definitely up there. Again, I'll probably give this, a 7 or 8. Maybe I'm probably more inclined to say 7 at the moment again because I'm only listening to it 2 or 3 times. But definitely, it was one that got me straight away again. And yeah, sorry, I'm just reading the lyrics again here. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'll listen to. It's not one that I'm going to skip. As I said, at the moment, Story of Love and Lower the Flag at the moment are the ones that I probably would be more inclined to skip. The Lower the Flag, by the way, the outro on that is lovely as well. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, probably more inclined to say 7 for Brothers in Arms at the moment. Unbroken. Again, we heard this in January, I think. I think it was about January. It never done nothing for me at the time. I loved the guitar work. I remember waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to listen to it because it was getting premiered. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I remember the guitar, and I was like, oh, this sounds totally different to me from my bed. And then it was just dead slow throughout. It didn't really go anywhere. Ever since then, I've still not really liked it. But I'd say the other day on Planet Rock, they played Unbroken or something. I don't know what it was. It was the first time that I got quite attached to the song. I think John actually does sound much better than I remember. The production on it is really good. The drums, the guitar, the woes at the end are lovely. I've always said that about Bon Jovi whenever they do like the woes type things, not the talk box ones, but like the again love's the only rule type, or even like Pictures of You type stuff. I've always liked that. Superman Tonight's another example. So yeah, something lately has got me with that, and I think it's the perfect album closer. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and I was saying it reminds me of Learn to Love. I always remember listening to Learn to Love for the first time, and I just thought it was the perfect ending to an album, and it got criticised a bit, but I just thought it finished the album perfectly, and I think this is the same. So a couple of, I don't know, a few months back, I'd probably gave it a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5, but I think slowly it's gone up to like a 6, and I wouldn't say it's pushing a 7, but it's definitely a high 6 at the moment. And I think, as I said, it's a lovely way to end the album. Personally, I think it suits the album. Again, I wouldn't have released it. I get what it was for. It probably should have stayed like that. It didn't deserve a video, and it didn't. I don't think it deserved all the publicity it got because there are better songs. But yeah, no, this is the first time I've actually properly looked at the booklet, by the way. Even though I read the lyrics yesterday, but I haven't looked at the photos. No, I just skipped through them. Yeah, I haven't even read the thank yous yet. But I do know that Phil X never got a category for some reason, even though Everett and John did. So that is a bit strange. Um, no Richie, obviously listen. So yeah, what can you do? It's as I said, I probably had the disadvantage to everyone else. I think if I listened to it on my own without reading reviews, I'd have probably been a lot more wow about it. I think songs 4 to 9 are head and shoulders above anything else on the album, and the rest we all got to hear. Um, Blood in the Water, best song that they've done for a long time. Beautiful Drug should have been the first single. That would have got me excited for the album if that was. I think, and the fact that we heard it live yesterday, spot on. And so was American Reckoning, to be honest with you. John done a very good performance to that yesterday. I think vocally, there's a couple of parts. I think like the La Da Did He Die, whatever they are on Story of Love. I think John sounds very weak on that. But then you listen to Blood in the Water and he sounds unreal. Um, Beautiful Drug, he sounds brilliant on Brothers in Arms. In fact, most songs, to be fair, I think he does sound very good on. I didn't cringe at anything, which I thought I may have done. I'm saying apart from obviously, as I said, the songs we heard. Um, yeah, to be honest with you, I think overall, yesterday I rated it a 6 out of 10, and at the moment, I think it is still a 6 out of 10. I've listened to it once more. I think it is still a 6 out of 10. People are like, how can you give it like? The reason being is, as I said, there's 4 or 5 songs on there that I just can't take to yet, and I find it hard to give it a rating anymore when I'm listening to songs that I can't relate to. Um, I personally don't understand how anyone can give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or whatever at the moment. A 10 out of 10 for me is these days New Jersey. Even that they'd be pushing for the 10 out of 10 because they've got something for the pain in, and like a cowboy ride and stuff that they can live without. For me, I don't understand how some people are rating it so high at the moment. I definitely don't think I'll ever give it any more than an 8. and that's really pushing, as I said, Limitless, Do What You Can, American Reckoning, at the moment, Story of Love, Unbroken, Lower the Flag. At the moment, they're no higher than a 6 for me, any of them. So I am quite. It's going to be quite hard for me to give it anything else. And then, as I said, apart from Blood in the Water and Lower the Flag, the others are 7s. So I think 6 is fair at the moment. The first songs I did get to hear before I actually heard the album. As I said, apart from Limitless and that, with Love Cannon and Shine, because I got sent them, and because they weren't on my album, I did listen to them. Love Can I listened to first, and I'm not even joking. That song, how that got taken off the album, I'll never know. The end is one of the best vocals I've heard from John. Again, like, apart from Who Would You Die For, and Love's the Only Rule, maybe for 15, 20 years, maybe. Absolutely perfect. The way he sings it throughout is how it's why I love I Will Drive You Home, because he has like that low voice. It doesn't sound strained. At no point does he sound like he's struggling. The the guitar solo's lovely. The lyrics are absolutely spot on. Again, at the moment, that for me is, I probably said a 9 or a 10 earlier, but it's Love Can is definitely an 8 or a 9 at the moment for me. If that was on the album, that probably would have took it to a 7 by now. If you got rid of Do What You Can or American Reckoning, which shouldn't have been on there originally. Um, Shine, I think I'd probably give that a 5 or a 6 out of 10. There's not really much I can say on it, but other people seem to like that a bit more. I just can't really take that. I didn't really take to that straight away, but Love Can, I definitely did. So yeah, for me, I'd have gave it probably a 7 out of 10. Did the whole album if Love Can was on it. Um, the album cover is still abysmal. Um, Not like even that would have been better. Like, I know it looks like they're all quite old men on it now, but I just think that would have been a much better front cover. I'd have walked into HMV probably buzzing a bit more seeing that as a front cover than that. And again, I'm gonna try and not go too far into detail. Or even that would have been better. That would have been a better front cover. But yeah. Or is it under the CD? Even that with the 2020 vision thing, obviously the clear vision thing. You can see a reflection. But yeah, that would have. I don't know. I just can't see, like, walking into HMV yesterday. I just didn't get a buzz looking at John's face on it there. Even that, come on. But yeah, even that, yeah, I like it definitely. I don't know. I'm not disappointed with the album at all. Very, very good album. I wasn't excited 2 weeks ago for this album at all. No denying that. I wasn't excited at all. I made that very clear. I said the 4 songs that I heard, but just didn't get me going at all. But then listening to the 30-second snippets, I got a lot more excited. And then I never listened to the 90-second ones, but people did. And reading the reviews on stuff like that, it got me excited. And then obviously reading the reviews for this album really got me excited. Um, I don't rate it at the moment. I don't rate it higher than This House Not For Sale at the moment. There's the songs on there better than someone, but I think as a whole album, I did prefer This House. Um, I prefer it to Lost Highway. I think I prefer it to What About Now? What About Now by a mile. Um, Have a Nice Day. Bounce, I think I prefer it to, although the stronger songs on Bounce are better than these, apart from Blood in the Water. But yeah, again, I'm not criticising. I give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think that's bad. I don't rate stuff the way other people do. I just think it's just not. It hasn't grabbed me just yet. A couple of songs have, but as an album, it hasn't just yet. It's a Beautiful Drug, Let It Rain, Blood in the Water, Brothers in Arms. That are all really, really good songs. American Reckoning's a nice song. Unbroken's I've attached myself to that a lot more. Story of Love hasn't got me yet, but I can see it getting me. It just hasn't yet. And Lower the Flag is exactly the same. So in another week or two, if I listen to it a bit more, walk to work, listen to it. I haven't done that yet, and usually I do. And that sometimes the song gets me when I walk to work, and I've got no worries and nothing to bother me, no distractions. I sometimes relate to songs more. As I said, Love Can, I was walking I just had a break, so I went for a walk. I put that on my headphones and it got me straight away. So I think I maybe need to just listen to it a bit more. I'm not criticising. I'll probably do another one in a week or two when I've listened to it more, because obviously this week I will. It's probably all I'll listen to. Put it on in the gym today, and there was people in there, and one of the lads messaged me before and actually said he thinks John sounds more enjoyable to listen to now than he has in a long time. He's not a fan or anything, but he heard the song and he was like, he heard Blood in the Water, messaged me before, and was like, that song was fantastic. So as I said, that it could get new fans. Chart position, this is another topic that I've been doing on. For me, I'm not really interested in the charts like I used to be. Obviously, just with streaming and stuff, but I don't think it's going to do very well. There's been next to no promotion in the UK. He's been on Good Morning Britain for a couple of minutes. He was on 10 News with Kay Bailey, which no one really likes saying. And mostly the thing he was on Planet Rock, which I really enjoyed. One thing I will say about the promotion so far, though, is it's the most enjoyable interviews I've been watching and reading and stuff. I think John seems a lot more relaxed. I mentioned in the forum that's probably because he's not travelling and jet lagged, and he just can't be bothered with the same questions. And I think at least doing it over Zoom, people are probably a bit more um, not as nervous to ask certain questions. So yeah, I'm not going to go on too much longer. It's been half an hour. As I said, it's Saturday night, so I'm not going to go too long. But yeah, I'll probably do another one in a week or two. This is just because I've had a few people saying they want to listen to me review on it. I'm a bit tired, so I apologise if I sound a bit boring about it as well. It's been a long week, but um, yeah, I don't dislike the album at all. I'm pleasantly surprised. There's definitely something still in this band. I knew it when I went to see them last year. I knew there was something still in them. Certainly something still in John. And obviously I was a bit. I just wasn't looking forward to this album at all because of the songs that I did hear. And I still can't understand why they've released them as singles, because they haven't. They just don't give a good reading of the album. But I am pleasantly surprised on some songs. I still think that they've still got it. John's still got it. It's the best songwriting I've heard them do for years. It's definitely up there with, maybe not with these days, but certainly since these days in terms of songwriting. The fact that he done 8 out of 10 of them, at first I was like, it's just another John solo album. But I actually think I'm going to go a bit more in detail about this because I'm really, as I said, I'm a bit tired. I probably should have wrote notes down. But production wise, I think Shanks needs a pat on the back. I've been the worst critic of him since probably Have a Nice Day, really, because just with the wall of noise, and well, no, not since Have a Nice Day. I was 12, so production didn't bother me then, but certainly since I was, I don't know, since like What About Now, or maybe even The Circle, um, a lot of the stuff just sounds like noise, and whereas I think everything here is so clear. You can hear Tico, you can hear David, and sometimes you can hear Everett. Um, I think his guitar playing is unbelievable on this album. I really do. I said on Burning Bridges, I love his guitar work. And the same on this. The intros on this song, on this album, are like flawless, really. Songs are meant to grab you, and quite a few of them do because of the intros. I said, Let It Rain. The intro gets me when it starts. It does die off a little bit, but the intro and the music behind it really gets me, and I think that's credit to Shanks and obviously John and whoever else. Well, all of them really. Um, so yeah, I think the production's great. I think Tico is a machine on this album. On some songs you can't half hear him pounding them drums, and it doesn't sound like a drum machine or anything like that. John's vocals blew me away. As I said, I was expecting him to sound awful because Limitless isn't the best. It sounds alright, but it isn't the best. And then from Reckoning, he does sound weak on it. But I don't mind it. Do what you can. I don't think he sounds particularly great. And Unbroken, I don't think he sounds great, but the rest he does. So again, I don't understand why they've changed some. And Love Can. It's just the vocals are amazing on that, certainly at the end. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up now. But yeah, I give it a 6 out of 10. It might go up, it might go down. I don't think it will go down because I've already heard the worst songs for me from it. So I think a 6 out of 10 at the moment's fair. I said it might go up to a 7, but I think that'll probably be it. But I'll do one in about 2 weeks. So goodbye. Your girlfriend singing Blood in the Water.